Hi and welcome to my new YouTube video. It's been I think around 8 days since I've recorded my first video on YouTube, and I can give you the real stats how it's going. So in the past 8 days, symbolically I had 8 views on the video itself. But to be honest, the content is not really of high quality or great value. So yeah, it is what it is. I just wanted to see how much of a reach can I get just from recording something, and this is about it. Today I'll try to do some demo development. Actually, on my day-to-day job, I mostly work with REST communication in Spring, and I wanted to build some kind of chat. I'll make a series about this, and first thing I wanted to take a look at Spring documentation regarding WebSockets, and maybe do a bit of demo. I'll try to stay off from the AI coding assistant tools, etc. Yeah, I've I don't know, I feel a bit depressed about them. They're really huge help in day-to-day work, but I think I don't think anymore. And yeah, let's get started then. We'll see. We can make an AI video if you'll be interested in some of the upcoming series. Let's see. WebSockets Spring. This is official Spring documentation, and I'll go through the initial tutorial to see how it works. Using WebSockets to build an interactive web application. This guide walks you through the process of creating Hello World application that sends message back and forth between a browser and a server. WebSocket is a thin, lightweight layer above TCP. This makes it suitable for using sub-protocols to embed messages. In this guide we use Stomp messaging with Spring. Stomp is streaming text-oriented messaging protocol. This is simple text-based protocol designed for working with message-oriented middleware. And the message looks like, I think this is a command, then the headers and the body itself with the null character for ending the message. Okay, we'll use Stomp messaging with Spring to create an interactive application. Stomp is sub-protocol operating on top of lower-level WebSockets. What you will build? You will build a server that accepts a message that carries username. In response, the server will push a greeting into a queue to which the client is subscribed. What you need: about 15 minutes. Okay, favorite text editor, I'll be using IntelliJ, and I'll be using Maven, Java Maven. Okay, how to complete this guide? Like most Spring getting started guides, you can start from scratch and complete each step, or you can bypass basic setup that are familiar to you. Either way, you end up with working code. Start from scratch, move to starting with Spring Initializer. I'm mostly not using the Spring Initializer. I am preparing my projects in IntelliJ. Maybe the IntelliJ itself is using the Spring Initializer, but I have a form that I pick the components I need for dependencies, and then start the projects. I'm not using the Spring Initializer on their web to import the projects, etc. So I'll skip those basics, and we'll just clone the repository and see from there. Let me see. I'll do it on here. I already created a folder WebSockets intro, and let's clone the repository. The command for cloning is just git clone and the URL of the repository itself. And let me open this now in IntelliJ. Open. It's the WebSocket. Here it is. Okay. Initial source Java messaging. Maven. I have to load it as a Maven project. Right click on POM file, and there is add as a Maven project. Okay, and let's try starting the application just to see that the startup works. And yeah, it does work. The Spring application itself started, but it doesn't really do anything for now. Okay, and I'll jump ahead. Now that you have set up the project and build system, you can create your Stomp messaging service. We said that it means streaming text-oriented messaging protocol. Yeah, okay. I'll never remember this. Maybe I will. Streaming text-oriented. Okay. Begin the process by thinking about service interactions. The service will accept messages that contain a name in a Stomp message whose body is JSON object. If the name is Fred, the message might resemble the following: name Fred. Okay. To model the message that carries the name, you can create a plain old Java object with a name property and a corresponding get name as the following listing: hello message. Okay, this is just a POJO. It's a POJO stands for plain old Java object, and just a private field with constructor, default constructor, and constructor with the name field and getter and setter. Okay, let me write this. I'll use only one package, so I won't complicate things for now. Hello message. Let me refactor this. Yeah, it's quite late at my place, but I fell asleep. I was planning to record at around 9, and I had guests earlier today, and I woke up at 1 a.m. so I'm recording now. Private string name. So you I don't know what level of users. I probably assume that maybe the juniors will come, so I'll try to explain more. The fields, we make them private usually in Java to have a good encapsulation. You have to have, if you need, if you have a constructor for a field, I don't know if WebSockets needs a default, but if you have multiple constructors, you have to specify also the default one if you'll need it, in case you need it. Public hello message, string name, and this the name equals name. Public string get name, return name and public void set name. This name equals name, and nothing much to it. So in IntelliJ you can have shortcuts to do such things. I'm usually on Mac, so I don't know the shortcuts on the Windows, but yeah, you can insert easily all these getters, setters, constructors, etc. Upon receiving the message and extracting the name, the service will process it. Upon receiving the message and extracting the name, the service will process it by creating a greeting and publishing the greeting on a separate queue to which the client is subscribed. Okay. The greeting will also be a JSON object with the following listing shows content hello thread. Okay. To model the greeting representation, add another plain old Java object with a content property and corresponding getContent method. And let's create a new class. It's greeting. Greeting private string, and I'll try to write this by hand because I was interviewing few people for a job like a month ago, and people for even though they are mid to senior, they forgot how to write code by hand because everything is auto-generated these days. Content. Oh my god. Okay. Greeting. Okay, this is constructor and this content equals content. And let's do getter and setter. Public string get content, return this contact, and public void set content. This content equals content. Okay, now this is done. Spring will use JSON. This is library that is used for converting objects from into the JSON. I think from into this the correct statement. Next, you will create a controller to receive the hello message and send a greeting message. Create the messaging handling controller. In Spring's approach, working with Storm, you know what, I didn't look at it, but I'm really interested what the dependencies are needed. So you need WebSockets, Spring Boot started WebSockets test. Okay. If you need an introduction about this, I'll create a separate video about this. Okay. Well, let's get back to the subject. In Spring approach to working with Storm message is streaming text-oriented message protocol. Streaming text-oriented messaging protocol. Okay, can be routed to controller classes. For example, the greeting controller is mapped to handle messages to hello destination. Okay, let's create a greeting controller. We are annotating it with a controller. Message mapping. Message mapping is probably similar in REST to what is the command? Route mapping. Message mapping. Hello. Okay. Send to, and I'm sending it to topic greetings. Yeah, hopefully we'll read about it. Okay, public, it returns a greeting. This is like content that we did. The method is called greeting. It accepts hello message. Okay, message, and it throws exception. Okay, great. It throws exception probably because we are simulating the sleep 1000 is probably due to this, because sleep thread is throwing an exception, interrupt exception, and return new greeting. Hello plus HTML utils, HTML escape. This candidates. Okay. Message get name. And it wants exclamation. Plus. Okay. Let's see what next. What is next? The controller is concise and simple, but plenty is going on. I see that plenty is going on. We break it down step by step. The message mapping annotation ensures that if a message is sent to hello destination, the greeting method is called. Okay, this is understandable. The payload of the message is bound to hello message. This is the input parameter, which is passed into greeting. Okay, this is also clear. Internally, the implementation of this method simulates a processing delay. This is thread sleep, causing the thread to sleep for 1 second. This is to demonstrate that after the client sends a message, the server can take as long as it needs to asynchronously process the message. The client can communicate with whatever work it needs to do without waiting for the response. Okay. After the 1 second delay, the greeting method creates a greeting object and returns it. The return is values broadcast to all subscribers of topic greetings as specified in the send to annotation. Note that the name from the input message is sanitized. I see it here. Since in this case it will be echoed back and re-rendered in a browser DOM on the client side. Okay, let's configure Spring for Stomp messaging. Now that the essential components of the service are created, you can configure Spring to enable WebSockets and Stomp messaging. Streaming text-oriented messaging protocol. Create a Java class named WebSocket config. New Java class. WebSocket config. Okay, and it will implement WebSocket message broker. WebSocket message broker configurer. It's like old Spring configuration. It looks like this. Okay, and we'll have add configuration. So the Spring configuration. So the Spring will find this class and probably make it a bin. Enable WebSocket message broker. Okay. Then we have two overrides. Public void configure message broker, registry config, and let's see, config enable simple broker, destination is topic, and config set application definition prefix / app. Okay, we'll see what this means. Add override public void register stomp endpoints streaming text oriented message protocol and points stomp endpoint registry add endpoint, and let's call it GSV guide WebSocket. Okay, this is it. WebSocket config is annotated with add configuration to indicate that it's Spring configuration class. It also annotated with enable socket message broker. As its name suggests, it enables WebSocket message handling backed by a message broker. The configure message broker, this is the first method that we've written, implements default method in WebSocket message broker configurer. To configure the message broker, it starts by calling enable simple broker to enable a simple memory-based message broker to carry the greeting message back to the client on the destination prefix with topic. It also designated the /app prefix for messages that are bound to the methods annotated with @messaging mapping. This is like the root. Okay. This prefix will be used to define all the message mappings, for example, app hello, in the endpoint that the greeting controller method is mapped to handle. The register stomp endpoint method registers the GS guide WebSockets endpoint for WebSocket communication. So it seems to me that we have like endpoint for WebSocket and then endpoint for the messages itself. So let's create a browser client with the server-side piece in place. This is all. You can turn your attention to JavaScript client that will send messages and receive messages from the server side. Create an index.html file similar to the following listing. Okay. Let's do new file, index.html and HTML5. Okay, let's see what it needs. Title, it's hello WebSocket. Style sheet. Okay, it's using Bootstrap. Main CSS. It's using jQuery and Stomp. Probably I think we need only the Stomp. I'll copy the URL. Okay, and app.js. Just a second. Okay, I won't do additional file for the. I'll do it. Okay, I'll do it. I wanted to have everything in one place, but I'll do another file for the JavaScript code. New file, not package, new file, app.js. Just see. You should find it, I think. Okay. No script. I'll skip this. Main content container, column, okay, form, WebSocket connection, button connect, submit, connect, disconnect, disconnect, okay. What is your name? It has an input for the name, and then the send button and greeting. Let me see. Okay, I'll copy this one. I'll copy this part. The whole part. It didn't copy it. Yeah, let me copy this HTML. Okay. I'll stay in a Chrome. So connect, disconnect. What is your name? Great. But I'll try to write the JavaScript file by myself. This HTML file imports Stomp.js JavaScript library that will be used to communicate with our server through Stomp WebSockets. We also import app.js, which contains the logic of our client application. Okay, let's do it. Const, it's like variables, Stomp client, new Stomp JS dot client. Broker URL WS like WebSockets, localhost 8080 8080 slash. Okay, and this is the endpoint that we defined in our Spring Boot application. This is broker URL. I hope I wrote everything. I don't have the IntelliSense here. Probably doesn't know what's in the library that it will download. Stomp client on connect. Okay, arrow function, set connected to true. Okay, let me write the connected function. Function set connected. Okay, connected. What it does? Dollar. Hashtag connect. Prop disabled. Connected. What prop does? Download full line completion. Let's download. Prop. I don't know what it does. What does prop in JavaScript means? Oh, it's in jQuery. The prop method gets the property value for one of the first element in the match set. It returns undefined. Okay, it finds the connect, the element with ID connect, and then disabled properties. It puts it to show if it's connected, so you don't connect again probably. I think it does this. Okay, we'll see. And disconnect will be different from it. Okay. Connect, prop, disabled, just opposite. And yeah, disconnect. Okay. If it's connected, then conversation show. Hashtag, so conversation.show. It's here. Maybe just to refresh. I don't know. Okay, let's see it again. Else conversation hide. Else hide this. Okay. And greetings, and put blank HTML for greetings. What we'll do here, we'll just log connected. And frame. I don't know what this frame will give us. Okay. And we are calling function on the Stomp client. Subscribe. We are selecting the where we are subscribing to. Topic, greetings, greeting controller, topic. This is the queue probably that we are subscribing to. Topic, greetings. Again, arrow function, greeting. Show greeting. This again our function. JSON parse. Greeting body dot content. Okay. Let's do function show greeting. Where is the connect? Let's do show greeting. For start, function show greeting, and it takes the greeting, it takes the message. Okay. Message. Greetings. Append in new row, probably. Table row, table data, message, message plus table data, table row. Okay, table row. Show greeting will just append the message. This on connect, Stomp client on, WebSocket error. What will do in error? Just log it out. Okay. Stomp client on Stomp error. I'll probably also log it out. Broker report error. Frame headers message, additional details. Okay, we'll see how this one looks. Frame. Okay, but I need frame that then. default connect, disconnect, and set name. Okay, I have to have these three functions. I don't need to have it, I can call it directly, but it's probably convenient. Connect stomp client dot activate. Okay, function disconnect stomp client dot deactivate. Maybe I misspelled it. Deactivate. No, it's here. Set connected to false and log that is disconnected, and function send name stomp client publish. Okay, this is for sending destination app hello, and body it will be JSON.stringify value name dollar hash name. Oh my god, I haven't worked with jQuery, as you can see. Okay, yeah, I don't need in JSON semicolon. And the last one, but not least one, dollar function on submit form will prevent the defaults. On connect we'll call the connect, on disconnect we'll call the disconnect, and on the send we'll call the send. I'll copy and paste this one. Let's try it. I'll spin up the server and I'll try reopening the page itself. Let's open the inspector view also. Refuse to apply the style. Okay, I don't care about the style. Connect. Failed to get subsystem status for rejected due. Reject unsupported operating system. Unsupported OS. Okay. It didn't connect. Let's try to figure out what is happening. It's port 8080. Let's see. Let's just double test I didn't potentially do something wrong here. Control copy. Let's just double test this. Let's open again. Okay. Inspect, connect. Fail to get. Okay. Let's debug it. I don't know what is happening, but let's try to see it. I see it in a console Chrome. Failed to get subsystem status for purpose. I use Solid.js with I don't know how to solve it. They're probably related to the browser add-ons, most likely DevTools. Oh, but I'm getting it on WebSocket connection. This is actually how it looks like. Confirm URL and protocols. Sorry. Let's go here. Hello, topic greetings, and config JS guide WebSocket topic app, and let's see in application JavaScript. Topic greetings, localhost. Maybe it's missing the app. Let's see again. Let's do Chrome, inspect, connect. Again the same error. Refuse to execute script from application because it's not executable. Refuse to execute script. Let me open the script. Maybe it's just the IntelliJ thing. Open Explorer. Okay, inspect. Console. Let me clear the errors. Connect. File found. Okay, let's just return this. Okay, connect. Now I'll open it again. Okay, inspect, connect. The app.js found. It's here. Okay, let me do it like this. Okay. Main CSS. I don't need it. Okay. Let's see what's happening now. Connect. Error event is just true. Type error. Target WebSocket. Current target WebSocket. WebSocket connection to localhost guest guide stomp failed. WebSocket connection to GS guide stomp. Let's check this is it. What is the error? Is just true. Type error. Target WebSockets is just true. Bubbles false. Cancel bubble. Source element. This is started. I don't see anything in the logs of the Spring Boot application itself. Source element. I'm getting errors all the time. Type error, target WebSocket. Type error. It should log the error. It is logging the error. On error. Let me just try. Is it maybe the app? Missing the app. It's not. Okay. Current target default prevent event phase source element. Ready state buffer on error. Target. Type error. Array buffer on error on message. URL. Okay, let me try to see what can I get from this. I don't see any really valuable information. Error with WebSocket. No. Error with WebSocket. Okay, confirm the URL and protocol. Check browser, ensure the server is reachable and running. Test on another network. Verify SL certificate if you're using VSS. Review reverse proxy config. Look for firewall or antivirus interface. Validate cross origin. Let's see about cross origin. Maybe there's something also in the tutorial I need to address. The main piece of JavaScript file to understand are stomp on connect and send functions. Stomp client is initialized with broker URL referring to JS guide WebSocket, which is where our WebSocket server waits for connection. Upon a successful connection, the client subscribes to the topic reading destination, where the server will publish greeting message. When a greeting is received on the destination, it will append a paragraph element to the DOM to display the greeting message. The send name function retrieves the name entered by the user and uses a Stomp client to send it to the app hello destination, where greeting controller will receive it. The main CSS can be omitted. If you like, you can create an empty one just so the link can be resolved. Make the application executable. Spring Boot creates an application class for you. In this case, it needs no further modification. You can use it to run the application. The following listing from application Java shows the application class. Spring Boot application is convenience annotation that adds all the following: configuration, text the class as a source of being definition of the application contents, enable auto configuration, tell Spring Boot to start adding beans based on the class path setting, other beans and various property settings. For example, if a Spring MVC, web MVC is on the class path, the annotation flag the component as a web application and activates key behaviors such as setting up dispatcher servlet. Component scan tells Spring to look for other components, configuration, and services. The main method used for Spring Boot application run, method launch an application. You notice that there was no single line of XML. Okay, there is no web XML file either. This web application is 100% pure Java and you do not have to deal with configuring any plumbing or infrastructure. Now the server is running on point your browser to this and click OK. Connect button. Upon opening a connection, you're asked for your name. Enter your name and click send, but this is not working. Okay, let's see once again. Maybe Just maybe. It has to be from a live server. I don't know. Let's test it. I'll open folder and let's open this initial. Okay, let's open this folder. This index.html, and let's see if I can see it somehow live. Go live. Inspect. Console. Connect. Error. Error with WebSockets. Okay. Let's try to examine what can I get more out of it. Have error. Dot. Let's see body. What it will give. Is it the same? Connect. Fail to get subsystem for. This is something else. Error with WebSocket undefined. Okay, body is undefined. Probably this. Okay. Now when I see event is trusted true, type error. Current target. Okay, let me see. Maybe there is something about this. I'm using Spring Boot WebSocket and jQuery to develop a shortened project. Sadly, I seem to have missed some crucial point while following guides and some official documentation, because as soon as I try to activate my Stomp.js client object, my browser console prints. Oh, this is it. I suppose I'm missing an extremely obvious point here, but after trying to understand the source of the error for sometimes I can't seem to advance. Now follows my HTML frontend, my JavaScript, the WebSocket configuration is basically the same as for ours. Okay, so apparently it's routing issue. IntelliJ community doesn't support Spring WebSockets, so it showed me warning for my CSS